Allahu Akbar. God is most glorious. Hello and greeting to all the people of the planet. I've started this project. It's really a huge project. So far, probably only 10% of this Mathnavi have been explained, and we are into 10 hours already, I think. So this project is going to go, God knows, 100 hours to explain. But I promised, and I'm happy that I'm actually doing it. So continuing, tonight we're going to study another 4 lines. Last night I explained that Baha'u'llah talks about ask God to bring a new spring, which is the Baha'i faith, to protect that feeling that God has, that most pure feeling that God has set in the heart of the man, his personal line to a human being. Then he talks about, continues, he says, جوش دریاهای عشق از جوش تو. جوش دریاها means the effervescence of the oceans, the boiling, the sitting, the ebullition. The ebullitions of the oceans of love is from your ebullition, from your boiling. جوش, ebullition, دریا, sea, دریاها, seas, دریاهای, of the ocean, the ebullitions of the oceans of عشق, love, from جوش again, ebullition of you. To means you. Jush means ebullition. So Baha'u'llah says, whatever happens, have you heard the effervescent, the storm, anything in a matter of love, there's ups and downs in it, it's all coming from you. You are the source, he says to God. It goes back on the second line. It says the awareness. Hush means awareness, conscience, intelligent, the thinking power. The awareness of hush, a means of, hush, a of, hush of, awareness of. Atyar is a plural form, an Arabic word, plural form for tayr. Tayr means bird. Atyar is the plural. So the awareness of the bird of eternity is from your conscience, from your intelligence. You are the source of it. And this line needs a little bit of explanation because the word is atyar baga, the birds of intelligence. This is a reference to a book written by Attar, whose name had come with one quotation from Baha'u'llah of him in the 7 valleys. Attar and others have written stories of the birds trying to go to find the king of the birds. It's an elusive story. The implications of it is trying to get to this presence of God. So all the birds trying to go, and their story is, conference of birds. It's called this book of Attar, Mantabotair. And finally, there are different versions of it. When they get there, and the name of this king of the bird is Simorq. Ironically, Simorq, which is the name of this king of the bird, also it means 30 bird. Si means 30. Morq means bird in Persian. In Arabic it's called Tair. So as they're going towards this Simorq, when they got there, it happened only 30 of them got there. So they said, where's the Simorq? And Hopu, which is the leader of the birds, he says, look, we are 30 birds. The 30 birds is us. So some thinking that, okay, there is really no God. It is us. If we put us all together, we become God. Carl Sagan was thinking that the entire existence as we know, we put it together, that is what God is, which is wrong. We call that creation of God. We say that's the result of God existence, which would have to come through his willpower, which is not a part of the existence as we know. So there is God who's separated from his willpower, and the willpower causes these creations. So this Atyar Baga, the eternal birds, is a reference to those birds in the Islamic mysticism as they come there. So this awareness and consciousness of the Atyar Baga is a reference to that. So, but it brings another point here. You see? Baha'u'llah says that anything that's good, it actually refers to him. It is of him. Some people, they think, okay, it's a decision to be kind, as if kindness does not exist, so they try to be kind or show the kindness. Actually, kindness, love, and many other attributes that we know spiritually, they are product available and exist of God. It's like gold. You decide to have gold, you go possess it. So you go and possess the kindness. You don't create the kindness. Kindness already exists. It's a quality that God has created. It's a part of his creation, a spiritual creation of God. So every time that we do everything that is right, it's actually God is of God, is a message from God to us. Anything that you do right, anything at all. So this is a very important subject. I was reading once, Baha'u'llah says that if somebody asks you for some favor and you don't give the favor to him and you deny him, you actually denied me. And if he does bad things to you for what you did to him as a good, he has done bad things to me. So any good things that we do that is out there, the source of those goodness is God. Anything. The definition of good, of course, and what is good is very important. In the Baha'i faith, good things is relevant things. What's relevant? If it is not relevant, it may not be good. So, what is relevant is very important. Is good. If it is not relevant, the very good things might appear to be bad. We have two definitions of good and bad. By Abdul Baha says lack of good is bad. Like the source of light, he says, is the lamp in the room. If the lamp is not there, doesn't exist, then the bad exists. But his second definition of bad is that bad relationship. Like he says, the poison for the snake is good in the body of a snake, is bad in our body. Relative to us, poison is bad. Relative. So all the goodness, which is not just the goodness of the quality, but the usage of it that makes it good or makes it bad. All the source of it is God. So when you're kind, you actually, it's not a decision that you decided to be kind, you actually went there, paid for it. You spend money and time to get that commodity, a spiritual commodity of kindness. This is what he says. Any good word that comes from anybody, any intelligent word, it is all because of the intelligence of God that is given to everyone. And any bellowing and the oblations and the sitting, which is the feeling, comes out of love, it is all because of your feeling. You're the contributor. Second line is also need explanation. How do we translate this? It says بوی پیراهن بوز از مصر جان. بوی means smell, the scent. Pirahan means shirt, garment. Bevaz, give out. Give out the scent of garment as from Mesr, Egypt. John, Egypt of John, the spiritual Egypt. What do you think is a reference to? Bevaz, give out. The scent of Pirahan, garment, from Egypt, Mesr. Mesr Mesr of John, soul. This is the story that you should know if you have read a little bit of the Bible. Although there are many versions, this is the story of Jacob and Joseph. You have heard the story probably of the Jacob and his brothers, that they go and, because of the jealousy, they throw the Joseph into the well, and God saved Joseph somehow by a caravan, and he went to Egypt, and he happened to become very close to the Pharaoh and become a great authority in there. And Jacob is one of these epics among the Muslims in Iran, among them, especially Iranians. We have love stories, of Romeo and Juliet and whatnot, but this story is about a father and a son. It is such a story that has affected the literature in Iran so much. There are so many similes and references to this is being made. So the love of Jacob towards the Joseph, which the Jacob, we call him Yaqub or Yaqub, and Joseph we call him Yusuf. Yusuf is the embodiment of the beauty. So and the story goes that Joseph ended up going to jail because the wife of Egyptian queen Zulaikha was in love with him, and he could not, of course, tolerate that as a spiritual entity that he was. But a conspiracy, as the story goes anyways, he ended up in jail, and in the jail Pharaoh had a dream that, about the cows, that are eating the other cows and whatnot, and they give the one guy who was with Joseph tells to the Pharaoh, and Pharaoh brings Joseph out, and he tells him that there are going to be 7 years of, drought in this country, and 7 years of great produce and farming and whatnot. God gives you a lot of abundance and bounties for 7 years, and 7 years going to be so. And the story of the drought goes back all the way to Canaan, where Yaqub is, and they go after the food. They heard there's lots of it in Egypt. They come down there, and Joseph recognized them. And the version of the Islamic goes anyways, that Joseph gives his garment, his shirt. He says, take that to my father, to the brothers. Take that to my father. And just apply it on his eyes, because Jacob cried so much from not having Joseph, and later on even Benjamin, as the story goes, that he became blind. And as Jacob couldn't see, apparently he was blind by the Islamic versions. But this garment of Joseph, his son, beloved son, goes over his face, and he finds his eyes back. So this is a reference to that. Baha'u'llah says that God give that scent of the garment of the Joseph. It just gets Baha'u'llah himself. Give it out from the Egypt of soul. This story of Joseph is big because there's a full chapter in Quran about this story, and a mighty book from the Bab is revealed. It is nothing but commentary on this particular chapter. And amazingly, Bab, I want to mention one thing of this book that Bab has said. Bab says in there that there are 12 Imams in Islam too, you know that, just like Joseph, but you know, all these 11 brothers. There were 12 Imams. And the third Imam, which is called Hussein, Imam Ali is the first, then Imam Hassan, his elder son. The younger son, who's that? Who is the Hussein? He has the same dream as Joseph has. Joseph, he says, when he was 10 years old, he says to Jacob, to the father, I saw that 11 stars and the sun and the moon were prostrating in front of me. In the story, Jacob says, don't tell the story to your brothers. The same dream, Bab says, narrated from Imam Hussein, telling this story, this dream that Imam Hussein also had seen. And says to Imam Ali, to his father, which is, you know, plays like a Jacob here. So, what is the implication of that? What would be the vision of Imam Hussein, seeing the sun and the moon and 11 of these stars are bowing down in front of him? Why? Is because in Islam it is being told that Imam Hussein will return. Baha'u'llah is the return of Imam Hussein. Fantastic story, isn't it? So, when Imam Hussein turns in return, becomes Baha'u'llah, well then all the Imams in Islam, all of them, they actually prostrate in front of him, including Bab, which was the hidden Imam. You know, for example, Bab says, Mullah Hussein is the return of Muhammad. Bastami was Ali Bastami was the return of Imam Ali. And Quddus is the return of Imam Hassan, and so on and so forth. So, all these Imams, including the Bab, which they returned on the Babi revelations, they all prostrated in front of this Hussein, which is called Baha'u'llah otherwise. That's how the dream of Imam Hussein comes true as Bab narrated. Because Hussein turned to become Baha'u'llah. And in the return, all the Imams are, which are the stars, prostrating in front of him. And the sun, which is Muhammad, and the woman, moon, which is Fatima, who returns in the form of Tahira. So Tahira is the Fatima return. Mullah Hussein is the Muhammad return. Ali Bastami is Imam Ali return. Quddus Hassan return, and the rest of them, including the Bab. All of them are prostrating in front of Imam Hussein. So that's a reference. It might be interesting for you to know. So Baha'u'llah says, بوگ پیراهن بوز از مصر جان. Give out the scent of garment from Egypt of soul. صدره موسی نما اینجا عیان. Sedre, we said that, is tree, eternal tree. This Sedre, we know him as the Sedre Musa, means Moses. So the tree of Moses is the burning bush. That is the Sedre Musa. See? Sedre Musa nama inja ayan. He says, in my revelation, Baha'u'llah, that's so great, so big, he says. The tree of Moses, of the burning of the Moses, appear, Ayan means make it to appear. Inja, here. Make to appear here. The burning bush of Moses. That is the revelation of Baha'u'llah. So big, as I told you, that all the Islamic figures are prostrating in front of it. He also refers to the burning bush of the Moses is coming here for prostrations. Going to the third line. ای نگار از روی تو آمد بهار. A means O. Negar means beloved. There are many words for it. Yar, Negar. These are Persians. Ma'shuq, beloved, is an Arabic. Mahbub is Arabic, is same meaning. Persians are privileged because they have both Persian and Arabic words in their literature. Therefore the language is very, very rich. Arabs, they just have Arabic words. But Persian, they have both. So, ey negar, O beloved, from your face. Ru means countenance. Ye again means of. Ru ye, O beloved, from your countenance have come Bahar, the spring. The spring is appearing from your face. When Baha'u'llah comes, it says, the spring has come. They say that when the promised one of Islam comes, he is supposed to bring justice to the entire world. They asked the sixth Imam, Imam Sadiq, how is this justice? He says, it is like the weather, cold and heat. As the heat comes and the cold comes, even the windows are closed in your house. His justice is all over. And we have seen from the appearance of Baha'u'llah, the entire world is changed, as the William Sears in his book Thief in the Night explains. The graph suddenly changes. On this occasions, God has brought so many things, for the inaugurations of Baha'u'llah. Okay? And he explained what kind of a spring. So, a negar, O negar, beloved, as from ruye, your face, of you to آمد, have come, Bahar, spring. Zin Bahar آمد حقایق بیشمار. بیشمار means countless. B means without. Shamar means counting. Without counting. Zin, actual word is as in, but the A falls, omitted in the poetry. So as in becomes zin. Bahar. B-A-H. I omitted the R. There has to be an R here. Let's write it down. So, Zin Bahar. Okay. Zin Bahar, from this spring came. Haqayiq is a plural for the word Haqiqat or haq. Haq, haqayiq. Haq means the truth, haqayiq, many truths. Bishamar, countless. He says, from your face comes the spring, and from this spring, countless of haqayiq have been showing up. As I mentioned, William Stearns' graph is explained. Some of it are actually physical, we could see. But so many of it will be coming later. We are right now not even, the revelation of Baha'u'llah has not even yet completed. The formative age by the appearance of the five elders is just commenced. Once they go away and they're gone, and the universal loss of guardianship is elected by the Baha'is of the world, comprised of 5 women, Baha'i female, then the fate of Baha'u'llah and his things is landed on the ground. Not yet. So when that comes, a lot of things comes. For example, to look from Christianity. Europe was really nothing. Because of this Christianity, in the sense that they wanted to promulgate Christianity, whatever the intention they had anyways, just like the bees that they go and take these flowers, and spread it around. The intention of the bee is just to eat it, but God uses his intention for his own purpose. Many of those conquerors, earlier conquerors, they took this Christianity all over the Europe. As a result, the entire Europe's changed because of Christ. So many churches was built because of it. So many architects came. Finally, so many scientists showed up. So many. It's all because of it. In fact, today, the 20th century, 21st century, that we see is all mostly a result of Christianity and Islam. The result of the Baha'i faith, and it was full effect of it. You really see it only when it comes to an end. A different, not only planet, different universe. The entire concept of humanity changes. So this spring is of its nature is that just promulgates, it just brings, blooms, countless realities, and the truth of everything will show up, Baha'u'llah says. And the final line of this. He says, هر گل از وی دفتری از حسن دوست، هر دل از وی کوثری از فضل هوست. If you look, gul and del, they both end to L. Therefore, these two are rhyme. Daftar and Kosar, tar and sar at the end. Daftari, Kosari is another rhyme in the poems. And then at the end, doost and hoost are both rhymes. So there's 3 rhymes in this line. Doost and hoost is already a rhyme. But so was Daftari and Kosari. So was Gol and Del. 3 rhymes in one line. Baha'u'llah says every flower of him is a book, is an epistle of the beauty of the friend. Every heart of him is a Kosar, which I told you that. It's infinite, It's infinity. It's infinite of the grace of who. Who means God. So, we'll go one more time because I have to explain this who. Har, every, gul, flower, as of, ve, which is u. In poetry they use ve. Ve and u both means the same thing, means he or she, third person. So every flower of him, daftari, is a book. Daftar really means notebook, but daftar also means epistle, Daftari, a book of hosn, beauty. Host, beauty. Doost, friend. So every flower of him is a book of beauty of the friend. In this bahar, he says, in this spring, every flower that you see, which is like you listening to me, or any other Baha'i that is teaching somewhere right now, is a flower, he says. If you look and smell that flower, you can see the beauty of the friend in that person. And then it says every heart, hardel, every heart of him is an infinite grace. Kawthar, I told you, is the pool, eternal water in the heaven in Islam. That is for the believers, which was alluded to I told you, Fatima, where all the Imam comes from him, because Muhammad didn't have a son. So every heart of him is a Kawthar, eternal, pool, eternal. As of Fazl means grace, Hust, who means God. This S and T at the end means is of who. Who is, okay? So every flower of him in this spring, it says, is a book. It's an epistle of the beauty of the friend, and every heart of him is full of the eternal water of the grace of God. Who means God? Who? Let me explain this who a little bit to you too. It's good to know. You have Yahoo from the program called Yahoo. You can buy books. Yah means oh. Who means God. Yahoo means oh God. For some reason, these guys, I don't know, they do all kind of a strange naming in the West, especially nowadays. They brought this Yahoo. Yahoo is a word, some kind of a sound that dervish and Sufis, they keep saying Yahoo, Yahoo, oh God, Yahoo, oh God, Yahoo. But I'm going to tell you a few other things about this Yahoo. This who is in the Bible in a different way. A Jewish man who knows the Bible very well may not accept this, but I'll tell you the source of it in Arabic comes from the word Yahovah. This who, it could be also pronounced as Hova. Hova means the third person in Arabic. It's a reference to he the man. If it's a woman, they say hiya. A man is Hova. But you could get the sound of va and simply say who. Okay? If you're not attributing anything to who, and simply you want to say who, then you don't say Hova. Simply say who, Yahoo. So, who is a he that refers to God. Hova, it could be to anybody. But who, the vav, which is silent, is God. So, Yahovah, it is really Yahoo. Except that Yahoo and Yahovah, the vav at the end has a sound of a. Hova. Yahoo, the vav has no sound. So Yahoo is Yahovah. When Moses go to God, he says, what's your name? He says, I don't have a name. Just call me Yahovah. Means, oh he. Just call me oh he. Okay. Persians, which come from 2,000 years after Moses, they're there when Islam comes. They have taken this way of talking of God to Moses, not in a mockery, but in a way of speaking something that no one can understand. For example, there's a word in Persians. So this Yahovah, many of you know in Bible, you also say Yahweh. Yahweh, which is Yahovah, is the name of God. But Yahweh, which means Yahovah, which means oh he, is a Persian for nonsense. So if you start to talk quite belligerently, if you talk BS, people say, do not speak Yahweh. Or you're talking Yahweh. You're saying BS. Don't speak Yahweh. Meaning, don't speak the way God talked to Moses. You're not God. We're asking you what is your name, but the way you're answering to us is as if God is talking to Moses. And God tells him Yahweh, which means don't tell us Yahweh in Persian. Yahweh is a word, it means nonsense. So, which nonsense really means what? No sense. Yahweh means no sense. So in Persian, when, this is a word common use every day, he's talking Yahweh or don't speak Yahweh, means don't speak nonsense to me. Don't tell me Yahweh or Yahovah, meaning I am called oh he, call me he. That kind of a language would be what? Yahweh, talking Yahweh. So one of my Jehovah's Witness friend was talking to me. I told him, you know where the Jehovah comes from, eh? And he didn't know when I explained it to him. that when you say Jehovah Witness, you are the witness to Yahovah. You're the witness to nonsense. Or you're the witness of no sense. Don't take nonsense as negative. Take it as no sense. Nonsense. That means sense cannot get me. This who is used in Arabic without the sound of a at the end. Ho, va. A after we, if it's a stop, it's just the who is God. Okay? And when you say Yahoo, oh God, you're Yahoo, you program. Yahoo means oh God. And really it is Yahovah, and Yahovah is really Yahweh. And Yahweh is a word in Persian language, means speaking nonsense. So, we went really far. 40 minutes is past. Okay, I'm going to stop here. God helps me out. I hope I can complete this, and I hope to bring some other stuff. So many things I can tell you. If I speak 24 hours, I have stuff to say. I am a thinking machine. I can't stop thinking. And the problem is that I cannot learn from anybody. The only person that can teach me is I have to go read the Baha'u'llah's book and the writing, or somehow me I have to teach myself. Okay, see you.